Hello, good morning, good evening, good night. Whenever you're seeing us, wherever you're seeing us. Welcome to the first broadcast of Alejandro's show. In this show, we're going to present to you a very important topic sets. What is sets? What types of sets are? I'm very much more. In this show, we're going to have four special guests. These guests are specialized in a lot of subjects such as mathematics, economics, and engineering. These guests are going to solve all of our questions about sets. But without more shitty chatting, let's start with the first guest, Juan Pablo Alvarado.
My name is Juan Pablo Alvarado, and I'm a mathematician from Harvard. And I want to say that I think that the future of a society is the mathematics. The investigation and all the exact sciences are focused on mathematics topic. And the organization of studies is really important for having good and exact results. The progress of the civilization is on investigation, and we have to continue improving. I liked the mathematics because I like the exact science. I think that the world is exactly mathematically described. Especially talking about sets, I think that it is a really organized way in which we can study the world. I am invited in this show for explaining you a little bit about it, and I hope you enjoy my interview.
Hello, Juan Pablo. How are you?
Hello, Alejandro. Thank you for inviting me here.
No, thank you for being here. So, what did you study?
I studied mathematics at Harvard.
And why are you specialized in sets?
Well, I'm not exactly specialized in sets. I'm specialized in types of sets.
So, Juan Pablo, you were telling us what is a set?
Okay, a set is a group of things that have a specific characteristic in common.
Like which characteristic?
Well, like if you're talking about numbers, you can have the numbers that are divisible by 2.
Now enter into your file of expertise. Can you tell us which types of sets do we have?
Well, we have in one hand we have the finite set, that is the one that you can count all the objects. By the other hand, we have the infinitive set, that is also called universal. That is one that you can not count all the objects. Well, it has all the all the objects. Um, Taking into account other characteristic, we have an unitary set, that is the one that only has one object. Um, we have the empty set, that is the one that doesn't have any object. Congruent and non-congruent sets. Well, it is comparing two sets, and you have to see which of the objects are equivalent in both of the sets.
Now, can you tell us how can we use sets in daily life?
Well, maybe some people think that the sets are not useful in the daily life, but if you're thinking about studies or investigation, you can use them by organizing the items or organizing the objects that you are studying.
Now, can you tell us something about your study life?
Well, I graduated from mathematics in Harvard. I have the specialization in sets and in type of sets in Oxford, and well, I have done a lot of courses in other parts.
And why did you interest on sets?
Well, I interest in organizing the things. I think that organization of objects during investigation is really important. So that is the way in which the human community can improve.
Thank you, Juan Pablo, for being here, and I hope that your answers to these questions will be helpful to all of our audience.
Well, thank you once more time for inviting me here.
Thank you. Now we're going to pass with our next guest. This guest is an expert on economic, and he is Juan Felipe Bonil.
Hi, my name is Juan Felipe Bonilla. I have 20 years old. I study at Liceo Cervantes. This, in this moment of my life, uh, it was when I decided to study economy. That was my career at National University. In the high school, teach me how to use the sets with so many different teachers and in some different subjects. For that, I'm going to explain you some of the most important aspects of the sets. For example, what kind of sets are and how we use the sets in the probability. I hope that you will enjoy this interview and have a good night.
Hello, Juan Felipe. How are you?
Fine, thank you. And you?
Fine. Thank you for being here. Now, Juan Felipe, can you tell us something about sets?
Well, in economy, there is a subject that we use a lot of times that is probability. In this subject, the base of it is the sets because one of the main topics of the probability is to determine certain certain investigations or things like that in order to get a probability. In other words, one of these main topics is the sets because with a Venn diagram we can use to group all this information and make it possible to do the investigations.
Nice. Can you tell us what do you study?
Well, I studied the economic in National University of Colombia, and well, I'm been working with the government in the Minister of the Economy and Traveling during these years.
How do you spread your knowledge of sets in Colombia?
Well, um, I'm invited in some type of talks with the young people in order to learn to teach the main uses of the sets in the probability and the economy.
Now the favorite question of our audience. How do you how can we use sets in our daily life?
Well, one of the most common example of sets is not in economic but in biology. If you see the sets that use the biologist people to in order to aggregate the uh, some species of animals or plants. That is the main uses of the sets in the real life.
Okay, Juan Felipe, thank you for being here. We hope that your knowledge of sets will be helpful for all of our audience. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me.
Now we're going to pass to our third guest. He is an expert of engineering. He loves sets, and his name is Diego Alejandro Zarate. Please welcome with a heartful applause. Hello, Diego. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Thank you for being here. Diego, can you tell us first what did you study?
Yes, of course. I studied an engineering and industrial engineering.
Where did you study?
I studied in Cambridge, in the high school and in the college, and of course in the university.
Um, why do you love SET?
Because it's very useful in my career.
Now, can you tell us something about SETs?
Okay, in my career I use sets because I studied the derivatives and integrals. In the derivatives we use the limit. Limit is we use sets to the to a group some numbers that is between some kind of numbers. For example, the natural numbers. Of course, we use it in limits. For example, in derivatives, we derive like f of x, and we use the limit, and of course we use in this part some sets. For example, the limit of when x is 0 is when the numbers that approach to 0, right?
Now, can you tell us why are you interested in SETs? Or better, what did you get interested in engineering?
Right. I'm interested in sets because it's very useful in how I said you in my career. But in engineering is because I am like a logical person and I want like think in some enterprise or some business.
Nice. Now, the favorite question of our audience. How can you use sets in daily life?
We can use sets in our life, specifically when we are like childs. For example, when we use it some toys, some cars, some sets to I don't know the red cars, the yellow cars, and the other ones. But I think that we use, of course, the sets in when in the adult life. Uh, for example, when we have some enterprise, we can like use sets when we want divided some per some people in terms of some skills of each one.
Nice, Diego. Thank you for being here, and we hope that all your answers will be helpful to all of our audience. Thank you.
Thank you for you. Goodbye.
Now we pass to our fourth guest. He's Juan Diego Pulido, and he's he study physics, but he's not in the town, so we're going to communicate with him through Skype. Hi, Juan Diego. Can you tell us something about sets?
That's a great question because the set theory is a mathematical theory of well determined collections called sets of objects that are called members. Um, Pure of the set theory deals exclusively with sets, so the only sets under consideration are those whose members are also sets. The notion of set is so simple that is usually introduced informally and regarded as self-evident in the theory. However, as is usual in mathematics, sets are given axiomatically, so their existence or basic properties are postulated by the appropriate formal axioms. Also, the formal language of set theory allows to formally all mathematical notions and arguments. The set theory has become the standard foundation of mathematics, as every mathematical object can be viewed as a set, and every theorem of mathematics can be logically deduced in the predicate calculus from the actions of the set theory.
What did you study and where?
First, I got my bachelor's degree at Cervantes School. Then I was admitted to the University of Los Andes for the program of physics and astrology. Then, when the first semester finished, I received a full scholarship for all of my career. After 4 years, I've been graduated as a physician and astrologer. Months later, I received a mail from the MIT invited me to study my specialization of quantics there. I got there and I obtained a PhD and an MBA in physics. Then I got a job in Oxford, and I have a program with the Universidad Nacional of Colombia with the students who want to be a physician in the NASA. Also, I have collaborated on various programs with Stephen Hawking to explain in a better way the growth of the theory of the Big Bang. And later on, we want to create a theory to explain all of the
And how can you use physics sets in physics?
much as physical theories are formalizable, with the set theory provide a framework in the theoretical physics. For me, there are four speculations that explain the relationship between the set theory and the physics theory. The first one is the chaos theory. The second one is the paradoxical decomposition of solid tridimensional objects. The third one is the theory of effective computability. And the fourth is the, for a week short, history of set theory, with emphasis on operational limbs. Physics usually do not pay much attention to the particulars of set theory. They tend to have a pragmatic attitude towards the foundation of the formal science, combining the suspicion that has been stated by Einstein. Furthermore, Einstein said that the mathematics and the physics they are necessary, but the physics is to think, and there is a think of reality. The mathematics is a think to go to the reality. And for example, with the set theory explains things of reality, but the set, what is that? There is not a think of reality. For that reasons, the physics say that there are things to differentiate the physics with the set theory. But of course, there are the different theories of physics are explained with some things that the set theory have.
Okay, thank you, Juan Diego, for being here, being in our show, and we hope that all your answers will be helpful to all of our audience. Thank you.